Here's an interesting question for anyone who believes in an all-powerful God, such as I was taught to believe in uh, my Christian upbringing, and I would assume from what I've read of the Quran and, of course, the Old Testament, that Jews and Muslims must also believe. I don't believe that any of you would argue with the idea that God is the only one who knows all things. He knows everything throughout time. He knows how the universe will end, how everything will play out. That's why God is the only one who can prophesy the future, because God is the only one who knows all things. Here's a question for you, though. If God already knows how the universe turns out, and God is the most powerful force in that universe, I don't believe anyone here could argue that if God didn't destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, it would have changed the history that we read in the Bible. If God didn't decide to flood the earth, it would have changed history as it appears in the Bible, assuming that that is a correct history. So obviously what God does has great influence on the way the world turns out. So the only way for God to know how everything will turn out from now till doomsday is if God's decisions have already been made. If from the beginning of time everything that he was going to do had already been decided, in which case God does not have the one thing that you claim that we have, which is free will. Because God cannot both have free will and know how the entire universe will turn out. Because if at some point in the future God could change his mind and do something different from the world which he had already prophesied, then the outcome would be different, in which case he did not know how the world was going to turn out. So it's kind of a one or the other. Either God knows how the world will turn out, he can prophesy the future, he knows everything that has been and will be, which is the very definition of omniscient or all-knowing, which I believe most Christians, Jews, and Muslims would claim that God is. Or he can have free will, but he cannot have both. Because in order to make his knowledge valid, God must do what he has foreseen that he will do, which means that he doesn't have a choice. He has no free will. Ponder that, and if anyone can come up with an explanation how God could have free will and be all-knowing, I would be interested in hearing the reply to this video.